welcome to another writing vlog. In this vlog, I am going to be reaching 75% of the way through with draft 2. I'm so excited. This draft has been flying by. For those that are new here, hello, my name is Stephanie and I am writing my very first book, and I'm currently in the process of writing draft 2, which is a complete rewrite from draft 1. I really like recording when I hit milestones in my work because I think it's a good way to celebrate and to recognize the good work that I'm doing. If you don't treat yourself and celebrate yourself with the small things, it just starts to feel a little mundane, and I like celebrating the small wins. I've actually already been writing today. I wrote 700 words this morning and I crossed 70,000 words, which to me means either today or tomorrow, I will reach 75,000 words. And an adult fantasy novel is typically around 100,000. That's the type of book I'm writing. So 75,000 is 75% of the way done. I'm also looking forward to the next few thousand words because this is a series of scenes that I really am excited about writing, that I've written before and it was a lot of fun, and I just can't wait to write it again. It's one of those scenes where it's a big, not big event, but it's big for the character. And I just think about it far in advance. So I've been thinking about it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days now. I just have been saying to myself over and over, I can't wait till I get to that part and I can start writing those scenes. And so what I wrote this morning was the end of the last chapter before this sequence begins. So I finished that up, and now I'm ready to write this sequence of scenes. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get through it, probably 2 to 3 days. Depends how much I write, which is an interesting point I wanted to bring up briefly before I get into writing, is my productivity. Lately, I've been averaging 2,000 to 3,000 words per day, which is great, but I really could do more, and I know I could. I've just been feeling a little slow in terms of my creativity, so I feel like I stall out between 200 and 300 words every day. And I think part of this is because the last several days I've been writing scenes that are new, that I don't quite know what's going on in them until I write them, and I'm not super excited about them. And I think it's a combination of all these things that kind of prevents me from getting in a really good flow state. A lot of times I'll type a few sentences and I'll have to stop and think about, well, what happens next? I kind of have a general idea of information that needs to be revealed in the chapter, but I'm not really sure how to do it. What is the conversation that these characters are having, or what event is happening to cause things to happen? That hadn't been, a lot of these chapters were inserted and in this draft, and so I haven't had a lot of time to really think through them. Whereas the scenes that I am coming up on, they were in draft 1. I'm really excited about them. I know exactly what needs to happen. There's a lot happening, and I think when there's a lot happening, I tend to write a lot more quickly just because I'm trying to get it all out. All this stuff is going on, I got to get it on paper. Whereas if it's more of a scene that's a filler chapter, as to these last few chapters, it's kind of okay, how do I make a pause in the action seem interesting? And that's where I struggle a little bit. But I at least got through it, and I think figuring all that out is going to be a draft 3 problem, and I am just ready to get writing on these scenes. So I think I'm on chapter 33, and right now I think I have 45 total chapters. So am I really 75% of the way done? I don't think so. I think maybe it's more 65 to 70. But I'm basing this off of the proposed word count for an adult fantasy novel, not what I think my word count will end up being, because I can't really predict that, right? I just know that this book has been ballooning in size for weeks. I started out with 34 chapters, I think. When I started draft 2, I had listed 34 chapters, and now I'm up to 45. So this book is going to be really long. I don't know how many words this scene would be. Typically, larger series of scenes end up being around 10,000-ish words for me. This could be a little longer. I'm going to try and buckle down and write for the rest of the day. One thing that does happen is when I get excited about writing a scene, I don't want to do anything else. I won't get off the couch. I just want to keep writing. Whereas if it's a scene I'm not super excited about, I'll be like, oh man, I need to do laundry. I should go do that. Or, I really need to go to the grocery store. Maybe I should do that. I kind of avoid it a little bit. And now that I'm coming up on these scenes that I know I'm going to love writing, I'm probably gonna sit on this couch all day. I will probably have to force myself to stop writing at some point. But anyway, I'm hoping I'm really productive today. We'll find out at the end of the day if I can get it in a high word count. It'd be really amazing if I could. And I will see you after the little montage. Hello, this is Editing Stephanie, and in case you weren't sure if this is real or not, I'm going to show you the date on today's computer, which is, can you see? So it is August 18th, probably about a week after I filmed this video, and as you will discover later, I discovered later that I had accidentally pressed the slow-mo video on my camera, and therefore a large portion of the talking part of me in the vlog doesn't have sound, because that's what happens when you press the slow-mo on this camera. It doesn't record the sound. What I was going to say tonight, or a week ago tonight, was I wrote 4,004 words in the entire day, which is really good. That's really good for a whole day of writing. Again, that's on par with me usually capping out around 4,200 words in a day. Oh, and that left me with a total of 73,400 words, so I was really close to 7,500 because I was at 7,300 that night. That meant the next day I was gonna write 75,000, like hit my 75,000 word goal. I don't really remember what else I was talking about that night because it was so long ago. And I also checked, and the morning footage, I recorded a teensy bit in the morning, which I will just skip for now, and you'll just see like a little bit of B-roll after. The next time I'm talking in this vlog, it will be when the sound is actually working. So the next day, tomorrow, if you will, I will reach 75,000 words, and I'm going to attempt to write all day again because I was really motivated to make a lot of progress with this novel. So you will find out shortly how tomorrow went. And sorry for the technical difficulties. This stuff happens from time to time, especially these pesky little cameras. They love to change settings when you're not paying attention. So sorry, but hopefully it didn't derail you too much. I'm done for the night, and there is a possibility that some of my footage from today and even yesterday was compromised. If that did happen, I will probably do an Editing Stephanie at some point, and you will have already seen it. So today I wrote 2,200 words, which is not fantastic, honestly. I probably could have done a lot better, but like I said, I've been in a funk. I was also in a little bit of funk as I was writing the scene today, even though it was a scene I've been looking forward to writing for a while. So I just didn't write a lot today. Although I did cross 75,000 words, I'm at 75,600 words. So there's that. I'm 3/4 of the way done with my novel, and it's exciting. But yeah, I didn't have a very productive day, and sometimes that happens, you know, and I don't, even though it's disappointing, I try not to be too hard on myself about it. I'm gonna continue this vlog only because I wanna vlog through the rest of the series of scenes. I don't know when I'm gonna finish it because tomorrow I really need to start editing a YouTube video, and Wednesday I need to finish editing the YouTube video, and I'm going to the pool, and I have a doctor's appointment, so I'm not sure when I'm gonna have time to write. But I'm gonna try and squeeze it in. I really love these scenes that I'm writing. And I think I have, let's see, probably like 2 or 3 more scenes. I haven't decided. When I can't decide scenes, what happens is I can't decide if I want to do like a break in between 2 scenes, or if I just want to kind of be like, they were here and then magically they were there, you know, like 5 minutes later they were somewhere else in a sentence. And so I haven't decided how I want to do it. I usually decide on the spot whether or not I want to break up the scenes or not, or even make it a new chapter. I did add another chapter, I think it was yesterday. I'm not sure if I talked about it. And the chapter I wrote today was 7 pages long. That may be the longest chapter I ever wrote. And it was seriously 1 scene. And so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to shorten that or break it up or do something, because that's insanely long. So that's where I stand today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know, it's gonna be fun to find out. I may try, actually now that I think about it, I may try writing tomorrow morning. So it might be a good idea for me while I'm fresh and I'm not super distracted to sit down and write. Although I could edit a YouTube video tomorrow morning instead. I don't know, we'll see. All right, I'm gonna end the vlog. It's 10 o'clock, I'm tired, I wanna go to bed. I'll see you tomorrow. With my big scene, I'm very excited. I had such a fun time writing it today. Also, I kind of took a break for most of the day today, and I think that really helped. This morning, I went for a walk, I did laundry, I cleaned the apartment, I read, I watched some TV, all non-writing things, but it was actually really nice to get out of the writing headspace for a little bit. It was just nice to vary my routine, because my routine has pretty much been the same for an entire month. And so it was nice to do something different. So for today, I wrote 3,500 words, great day. And that left me at 79,100 words. So I am coming up on 80,000 words. I'm just about to start Act 3. Yeah, this is gonna be such a long book. As I said, I'm now up to, I think I added a chapter yesterday. Let me look. I'm up to 46 chapters. We'll see how much longer it grows. I don't know. But overall, I am really happy to finish the scene. The scene that I wrote tonight is one I thought about for a while, and I actually ended up copying and pasting some stuff from draft 1 into this draft, which I don't do very often, but I was kind of like getting stuck as I was writing. Like I was just like, it's like the dialogue just wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to, and I remember that it did come out the way I wanted it to in draft 1, so I went back and looked at it, and I figured out a way to include some of that dialogue so that it flowed better and I said what I wanted to say. So that was helpful to refer to draft 1. But like I said, I think that's only the 2nd time so far in draft 2 that I've actually used something from draft 1. But I'm 3/4 of the way done. Actually now I'm like, instead of 75%, I'm closer to 80% of the way done. This book is just flying by. I can't believe how fast I'm working on it. It's really fun to be working on it this fast, honestly, and to make a lot of progress. Hopefully I can keep the ball rolling and finish this first draft in the next few weeks. We'll see how that goes, and I will update you in the next writing vlog.